we're bringing you the latest information on the coronavirus at both the top and bottom of each hour. On Thursday, President Trump announced that 19 coronavirus treatment therapies are being tested, while 26 more are preparing for clinical trial. More than 2 million coronavirus tests have now been administered in the U.S. Vice President Mike Pence says 100,000 Americans are now being tested each day. And the president is working on a deal with Russia and Saudi Arabia that would help aid the oil industry. Also in the works, aid for airline companies, which could be made available as early as this weekend. We'll have much more on the pandemic in just a few moments, but first, let's go ahead and get a check of your weather on the ones.
Here it is, the news about the coronavirus.
Quieter than how we began it and how the middle of the week was. Severe weather is over, but now we're going to get into more of a almost winter-like pattern the next couple of days as cold and blustery conditions come.
That's right, the news about the coronavirus.
Clouds on your Friday, but it will be in the 40s. Take a look from Wednesday to Thursday. You think a cold front came through? Between 20 and 30 degree difference and drop in temperatures all in less than 24 hours. In fact, so much so that by Saturday morning we have some freeze watches and even freeze warnings across much of central and southern Ohio. That's because temperatures will be in the 20s and 30s and below freezing to start. By Friday afternoon, we may get up to 49 in Cincinnati, 46 in Columbus, 43 in Akron, Canton, and Toledo, around 46 degrees. Other numbers like Portsmouth, a little warmer at 52, 41 Youngstown, 45 Findlay, 44 in Lima. Coming up, we'll talk about your next chance of rain, maybe a couple of flakes flying, and I'll have your 7-day forecast right back here in less than 10 minutes.
Even though nearly 700,000 Ohioans have filed unemployment claims so far, there will be many more coming. And while benefits are rolling out to some, others are being denied, waiting in limbo, waiting on a system that has yet to be designed. Our Ori Givens has more on why, despite the CARES Act, it could be a month or more for coronavirus relief for some in our state.
Lunch rushes and happy hours are now a memory of a different time. Employees who used to count tips are now counting the days since their last shift and their last paycheck. And they're counting the times they've had to call unemployment to get their questions answered. Today's announcement of nearly 700,000 Ohioans on unemployment is only part of the picture, as there are still many across Ohio in limbo. Marla Hicks is a bartender at Bossy Girl Pinup Joint in Columbus. She's worked there since the beginning, 7 years ago.
It's very much like a family. My regulars take care of me, and we've all become a little family, and the staff, there's only like 7 of us, so we're all a little family too.
Well, she was, until the coronavirus shut down bars and restaurants just over 2 weeks ago.
And so going through this, especially how frustrating and stressful and scary it is, not having that community around me to take my mind off of it and to, blanket me with love has been kind of hard, for sure.
Now she's at home spending her days trying to get through the unemployment claims process. She says she thought, based on what she'd heard, that she would qualify.
But after 2 weeks of waiting and the site crashing every time you looked, every time you tried to get on it, I found out I was denied.
Hicks is just one story of the people who felt left out of the promises of unemployment during the shutdown. Her weekly wages are less than the weekly wage threshold. That means she doesn't qualify under typical unemployment.
Some of my regulars have donated, and they were literally the only reason I was able to pay my bills this last month. So, yeah, loss of wages and loss of almost my entire community has just been a double whammy.
She filed again now that the CARES Act was passed in March, but she's still waiting to hear back.
I feel like I'm treading water and I'm drowning slowly, and there's nothing I can do.
Hicks says she's not alone, and she and many others are taking to social media to voice their concerns about the delays and the denials, and there have been many people forming groups. Hundreds of thousands of Ohioans have filed for unemployment since the state shut down bars and restaurants on March 15th, and that drove 1.7 million calls and a record number of website hits to Job and Family Services in March, crashing systems and jump-starting a massive upgrade. JFS says they have multiplied their server capacity 20 times and added hundreds of people to the phones. State and county employees are now taking calls 7 days a week, but filers across the state are still facing issues filing initial claims, getting questions answered, and being denied when they feel they should qualify.
We feel like we've been lied to. We feel like we have been betrayed because we were made to think that everyone who got laid off would be eligible for some kind of unemployment compensation. And we feel like we're not being heard.
Guidance is rolled out quickly to states from the CARES Act. Ohio just received the lengthy documents over the last weekend. Earlier reports and interviews contained mixed messages over whether or not people like Marla, restaurant and other tipped employees who fall under the weekly wage minimum, could get benefits. The answer is yes, but not yet.
So there's regular UI system, which is our current existing system. We are standing up a new UI system that is the PUA system.
Zach Schiller from Policy Matters Ohio says the wide sweeping coverage was meant to be as inclusive as possible.
Many workers who previously had not been eligible will be able to get unemployment, ranging from Uber drivers to self-employed to people who had been working but had not made enough to qualify under Ohio's stringent earnings standard.
But for now, if you're like Hicks and fall into the PUA category, you'll be denied under the current unemployment system. The state can't process those claims under that new program using current technology.
It's frustrating, I know, and really challenging for individuals to be in this kind of limbo state right now while we are understanding requirements, partnering with the vendor to build the system, but they really need to wait until we have the PUA system established.
This new system will not only have to handle the new types of claims under PUA, but will have to integrate with current JFS systems. Director Kimberly Hall says there isn't yet a vendor, but they've expedited the process to get one, anticipating that new system sometime in May.
It's very clear that we really need to be working aggressively through this month. Citizens are already at their limit in terms of tolerance and patience.
The state asking for more patience, while Ohioans like Hicks are looking for dollars and cents to get through this pandemic. In Columbus, Ori Gibbons, Spectrum News.
Thanks, Ori. And the CARES Act created several programs, including a new program called Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. PUA gives unemployment access to several categories of people not previously granted benefits by traditional unemployment. Many different types of workers qualify for PUA, but you have to have become unemployed because of COVID-19 related reasons. That could be you or a loved one getting sick and being isolated, or because your workplace had to shut down, like many bars, restaurants, and other small businesses statewide. Covered individuals include those who are self-employed, people or independent contractors who receive Form 1099 for payment. It also includes people seeking part-time workers employment, those who did not meet the weekly wage requirement, and Ohioans who do not have sufficient work history. There are two exceptions. If you have the ability to telework, you cannot claim PUA, and if you're already receiving paid sick leave or paid leave benefits, unless those are less than the customary work week amount. Several strong storms went through southwest Ohio late Wednesday night, causing tornado warnings across the state. Our Katie Capusta found some neighborhoods had a lot more damage than others and learned how communities are pulling together to clean up.
Strong storms whipped through Milford on Wednesday night, causing widespread damage like this behind me. Trees uprooted onto homes, even roofs off of buildings. It's a lot to take in. Trees in half, cars damaged, homes in disarray.
I forget social distancing because I want to just go around and hug everybody that has to wake up to this today.
In Miami Township, this home now has a tree on top of it. The homeowner says it's overwhelming. She's especially thankful for the friends and family willing to help.
I'd be lost without it. I don't know what I would do without it. It's just a lot to take in right now.
Neighbors say the storm sounded like a train and came on very quickly before the sirens were even able to go off.
There was no extra seconds, It was once as we jumped in the closet, it was all around us and you could just hear it and feel it, the house shaking.
The timing for the strong storms is probably the worst it could be, while many Ohioans are struggling during this coronavirus pandemic.
There's all this craziness going on and uncertainty, and then for it to be paired with something like this. And I mean, I looked at my roommate and I said, after it was done, I said, boy, you're not kidding. It is amazing how life can just change in the blink of an eye.
To see this kind of damage, especially to one of our churches who serves people and has helped out through the terrible virus we're going through. It's horrible to see that they have to wake up to this.
But neighbors have come together to help clean up their yards and streets.
It means a lot. It means a whole lot. And all the neighbors have come over and checked on us because when they seen this is the neighborhood tree, I really love my tree. And everybody's come over when they seen that my tree was down and to make sure we were okay.
It's a sad time, but it's also a good time for people to pull together, come out, help somebody pick up sticks, and just take care of each other.
And these neighbors are counting their blessings that it wasn't worse.
Houses and property can be, replaced and fixed, but not lives. So, very thankful.
It's been amazing to see all of the neighbors in the area coming together to check on one another. They all tell me they're just so thankful no one was hurt. Reporting in Claremont County, Katie Capusta, Spectrum News.
Hey, Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, thank you for tuning in and watching us here on Spectrum News 1. I'm Andrew Kozak, meteorologist, and I'm going to bring you a complete look at your forecast for the next 24 hours and the weekend ahead. In the meantime, make sure to join me on Facebook at Andrew Kozak TV, at Andrew Kozak TV, same handle, on Twitter, Instagram, and on Snapchat. So perhaps you want to get outside. I don't know about yoga, but let's just say you want to get out and enjoy a little exercise. Well, you may need to cover up Friday and Saturday. Sunday and Monday will be the rain and maybe even a couple of snowflakes mixed coming in. So you will need to stay inside those days for sure. At least you're going to want to. No severe weather from any rain that comes in. Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, some sunshine returns. The big story for a lot of us will be the dramatic change in temperature that we've seen. 70s and 80s just the other day. And now as we head into your Saturday, we even have some freeze watches and warnings for parts of the state. Not for us, we'll be cold and around freezing, but for folks with averages a little higher, especially south of I-70, it's certainly going to be a big shock to them. In the meantime, overnight we'll have late clearing and north gusty winds, northwest at times. Then decrease in clouds on Friday, so Friday actually visually won't be that bad of a day. A little cooler, blustery, wind chill throughout the day from the 40s will make it feel like it's in the 30s, so bundle up. And then this weekend, the good is that we start Saturday off very cold, but Saturday afternoon mild. The bad is that by Sunday, if you're hoping to get out and enjoy Easter Sunday, I know we all have to stay in, right? But if you were going to go out in the yard, Sunday's going to bring us some rain. There's a satellite and radar. We're still tracking a couple of stubborn showers and sprinkles. These, if they stick around toward the morning hours, could become a couple of snowflakes because temperatures are just that cold. But we are going to get back down into the low 30s. And while we have a couple of late effect snow showers, we shouldn't see much piling up. Maybe a dusting on some of the grassy surfaces. That won't stick around. We'll have mixed skies on your Saturday and highs in the 40s. Saturday night, that's when things will get a little bit, Saturday morning I should say, things are going to get a little colder. We'll say upper 20s and low 30s, and then we'll be in the 50s for Saturday afternoon. So things are going to get better, a little milder, but we have to get through another at least 24 hours of cold. Skycast for Cleveland shows decrease in clouds, a little on the blustery side, high temperatures in the 40s by the afternoon. Saturday's not bad, and then Sunday is when we'll have to watch for some of that rain coming in. So Saturday dry, Sunday wet. When we come back, we'll talk about Good Friday in greater detail and have your 7-day plan. Right now, your storm track Doppler radar.
Being involved in the community really allows us to be in tune with our neighborhoods. These people invite us into their homes, and to meet them face to face is extremely rewarding.
This is Community. This is Spectrum News 1, exclusively on Spectrum.
Coming together makes us stronger, and Ford is built to lend a hand, especially now, with 6-month payment relief. Buy a new Ford. We'll defer 3 payments and make 3 payments for peace of mind up to 6 months. Shop at Ford.com or contact your Ford dealer to find out more about home delivery and other vehicle service options. You have a lot to take care of. Let us help take care of you.
There you have it.
The people of Ohio have
The news about the coronavirus.
We want to be a different.
That's right. The news about the coronavirus.
Your morning news, weekday mornings on Spectrum News 1. Sunday mornings at 10:30. on Spectrum News 1.